Hey guys, welcome back to Outdoor Instinct. Today I'm putting away my ice fishing stuff. The ice is shot here in Minnesota. You can get out up north yet a little bit, but I'm getting ready for bow fishing, so I figure I might as well put the stuff away. The ice is pretty much done on the lakes that I'm gonna fish, or I want to fish. So I'm putting all my stuff away, and I'm gonna show you guys what I'm all doing to get all my stuff ready to be put away for the summer, so that way next fall when you dig it back out and start thinking about ice fishing again, it's ready to go and you don't have to go and replace a bunch of stuff. Hopefully, you know, try and stay on top of all your gear so that way it's ready to go again in the fall when you start digging it back out. So first up, we got batteries for my electronics. I'm just charging them all up. This one's charged, this one's charging. I got another one that I gotta charge, and then I'm gonna store these in a temperature controlled environment. I'm not just gonna stick them in a cold storage or something like that. I'm gonna keep them in a temperature controlled environment, in the basement or something like that works fine. I just like to try and keep them so they're a nice consistent temperature. So that's what I'm doing there, getting them all charged up, ready to be stored for the summer, so that way they're good to go again when I come next fall to use them. So then over here we got a whole bunch of stuff that I pretty much have everything in the back of my truck, and then I'll just go put it where it needs to be, so I don't have to move it all around by hand. So first up, we got my big Eskimo. I got it all dried out. There's some spots on it, but that's just on the outside bag. So you want to get them all dried out, and then I'm gonna put these, I'm gonna stuff the dryer sheets down into the bag and in the house and stuff. This one I did that already. I loosened up all my straps and everything and stuffed a bunch down in there and got them all over the place in there. That one I have to do that too yet. And then I got all my rods, I got all my lines loose, so the rods aren't curled all summer. I know that's just something I like to do, is loosen up all the lines and then put them in bags so that way they're all good to go, and then store them. Again, I like to store them in a dry place. Typically temperature control doesn't really make a big difference on that, in my opinion. But if you have the room in a temperature controlled environment, you might want to think about doing that. I got my ice saw in there. If I haven't used that one much, but if there's like bare steel showing on it or something, I'll hit it with a little bit of WD-40. Same thing with my chisels, just a little WD-40 or some sort of oil, just to help protect it, keep it from getting rusty. My heater, I gotta clean that up, and then I disconnected the propane, but I gotta clean that up a little bit, and then I'll put it away, so that way it's ready to go again. Cleaned out all my buckets. This one's just got all my tip-ups in it. I went through and made sure they're all ready to go. There's nothing funky going on them. Minnow bucket, you're gonna wanna wash that out, you know, just rinse it and scrub it out a little bit maybe. I don't like to use soap in my minnow buckets, just because if there's a little bit of residue left, I feel like that really kills your minnows fast. So I usually just use clear water, scrub it up a little bit, you know, get it cleaned out and get it dried up, and that should be good to go. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. I got my decoys and stuff here. Not really anything to worry about, just make sure it's dry. They're all dried and stuff, not that you have a bunch of water in the bottom or something. My sled has some water in it, but that's no big deal because I gotta lean that up anyways in the corner, so I gotta do that. And then this is my Humminbird stuff. I'm gonna store this all together. This is the caddy that I use for my Humminbird's Helix 7. I just leave the transducer wrapped up and on there. Power cord stays on there as well, that way I don't have to go hunting for it when it comes to fall. And I keep it in my little pail that I have for it. So I'm just gonna put all that where I'm gonna store it. These are my ice anchors. Just make sure they're dry in there. pretty much the main thing. Just make sure they're dry. Don't want water sitting in there. So that's just something I like to do. Make sure that it's dry in there. Not that you get a bunch of moisture in there and then it corrodes them or something like that. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty quick. If you spear, you're gonna want to rub that down. Make sure it's clean. Rub it down with some oil or something. Make sure it's clean. Make sure it's dry. Make sure it's not gonna get rusty. Tackle, that kind of stuff. Make sure, once again, it's dry so that your hooks don't rust and all that kind of stuff. Make sure your hooks and stuff are where you can find them. I like to throw them all in a pail, and then I have them when I come back next fall. And open up your jacket and your bibs and that kind of stuff too. Pull that out of whatever, if you're storing a tote, pull that out of the tote. Just make sure it's dry so it doesn't get moldy and stinky, because that's the last thing you want to do in the fall is pull it out and then, you know, you go to use it and it's all musty and it's not, you know, it's just not good, and then you want to go get new stuff. So just make sure that is, once again, dry. Throw it in the washing machine or the dryer or something. Just make sure it's clean and that it's dry for storage. Last thing you want to do is pull that out, go to put it on, and then it's all musty and moldy and nasty. But that's pretty much all I got right now. I just like to make sure pretty much everything's dry, make sure all my lines are loose, and make sure everything's clean for the most part, and then that's pretty much it. You just put it away. That's all there is to it. And it's just a matter of where you're going to store this stuff. Some stuff I store in a temperature controlled environment. Some of the stuff I really don't feel like it matters that much, so I'll just put it wherever there's a good spot for it. I have a usual spot that I like to store everything, so, and that's definitely not temperature controlled, so certain things can't be stored there. And also, if a mouse gets in there, it could go havoc, so I don't store my fish houses in there. So but certain things doesn't really matter that much, because there's nothing really that they would wreck anyway. But yeah, you got to watch out for mice, and you got to watch out for moisture and temperature. On batteries, temperature is kind of a big one. If they get too hot, it could wreck them and stuff. So I like to pay attention to my batteries the most, mainly that, and because they're really expensive if you get the lithium ones. And then my houses is the next thing that I really am concerned with for mice purposes. So just some tips for you guys to hopefully save you guys a bit of money and save you guys a little bit of a headache come fall. Thanks for tuning in.